Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, y'all. Another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market, right? But let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX, and as you can see, the VIX has been trading in this area here pre-market. It did make a high here of 1464, so that's going to be interesting to remember, right? Because we've been at that place before. We could very well come back to that area again. So I'm going to mark this here. And the low thus far pre-market is around the 1446 area. And it's not far from a previous area that we had marked, which is at the 1442. So as of now, this is our area of trouble places for the VIX in this area here. It is under the 5 EMA, finding support at 1446. However, we are getting our trouble places really at the 1453 area, because even though we tested this area 1463, look where the candles have been coming here within the last few minutes, right? So those are trouble places as of now for the VIX. 1453 as resistance, 1446 as support. So where are our trouble places, right? So if the VIX should break out of this area, where are our trouble places to the upside or to the downside? So if we break above, this area of 1454, just know we will have trouble at 1460, again at 1463 and at 1470. Those are areas that we can get, rejected. Those are resistance areas. We can hit that bounce and come back to the downside, or we can continue to the upside. Now, if by chance we break this 1470 area, which wouldn't be surprising, let me say that, we can very well come back to the 1478. Above 1478, we can retest this 1488 here. So to the downside, where are our trouble places for the VIX? If we break under this 1446, just know that our 20 EMA is right here at this previous resistance and or support area of 1441. So 1441, 1442, I would definitely watch that area. If we break that, we can come back to around the 1431 area. Below the 1431, we will definitely have trouble around the 1416 area. And when I say definitely, let me rephrase that. Nothing is guaranteed in the market. Anything is possible, but nothing is guaranteed. So I would say under this 1431 area, just know that we can come back around the 1416 area for the VIX. Now let's go look at the SPY, and that's the reason why we normally look at the VIX, is because it kind of gives us a general idea of what the SPY is doing, right? So as of now, SPY has just been all over the place. So the SPY should be interesting today. Let me say that. And again, we are looking at the 30-minute chart. This is our 3 o'clock candle. This is our 4 o'clock candle. So as you can see here, price has been in this zone, which we had already marked once before. So this area of 558.32 is our resistance area, and our support area, which was where it was on yesterday, 557.88. So SPY has been trading in this area here for a while, so it would not surprise me to see it find support and bounce back to the upside. Because of the nice decline that we had on yesterday. So it wouldn't surprise me to see us go back to the 563, 564 area. What is it? Let's see. Or 559, 560 area. Let's say that. So where are our trouble places for the SPY as of right now? We will need to get above this area of 558.32. Above that, we will have trouble here at 558.60. Above 558.60 is going to bring us close to this 50 EMA, which is at 558.82. Above 558.82, 558.93 is going to be a trouble place for us. And again, here at 559.23, above the 559.23, we can very well come back to the 559.61 or the 52 and then the 61. Above 559.61, it's going to bring us to this ATR trailing stop, which is really close to this 200 EMA at the 559.84. So again, it wouldn't surprise me to see SPY at this area around the 559.84 area. I'm going to set my alert to let me know that it is above an area or right at an area of resistance, because we've broken through a lot of area of resistance. Okay, so I'm going to set my alert there. We'll come back to the SPY. I'm going to do some downsides really quick. So if we break under this 557.85 5 area, just know that we're going to have trouble, or we can find support here at 557.70 and again at 557.50. Below 557.50, we can come back to 557.33 or this 557.23. Below 557.23, we can come back down to the 556.79. So those are areas to the upside and to the downside. If I traded the SPY today, I would definitely watch those levels. And SPY has been interesting because of the move on yesterday. Again, it wouldn't surprise me to see some type of recovery back to the upside. So this is Tesla. And y'all know I always say Tesla is Tesla. Tesla is an inside day candles, which is interesting, right? So let me give the trigger for that, right? So to the upside, if it breaks above 258.47, then the target to the upside is 258.62. If by chance we break under 246.26, then the target to the downside is this 245.80. As of now, Tesla is creating a gathering spot. It is finding support here at this 251.07, but it's right where the 200 EMA and the 20 EMA. So we are kind of like in a space, right? Because the 55 EMA and the 50 EMA is our support as of right now. It's just resting in this area, but it's very much close to this area of this is our support. This is another level that could hold us as support if we break this. So I would watch Tesla. Yeah, I would definitely watch Tesla above 251.64. Above 261.54, we can come back to 251.92. Above 251.92, we will have trouble here at 252.13 and again at 252.86. I need to get that off of my screen. 252.86. Those are going to be trouble places for Tesla. And again, it's right here at the 5 and the 50 EMA as trying to hold it or break through it. So that's going to be an interesting place for me. I'm going to put an alert here to let me know, if Tesla breaks that area of support. So again, our trouble places to the upside. It needs to definitely get above 252.86 and close above that. Above that, we know we will have trouble at 253.82. And again, here at 255.05, above 255.05, we can come back and retest 255.91. Above 255.91, 256.65, which is the ATR trailing stop, which is kind of close to this 256.98 area. So again, Tesla moves about $10 on average, $10 and maybe 50-60 cents. Let me go back and check that. So Tesla normally moves $14.92. That has changed, right? So Tesla normally moves about $14.92 on average on a daily basis. And again, Tesla normally it exceeds the ATR, meaning it moves past that amount normally. And again, that $14.92 is in either direction, to the upside or to the downside. Tesla is an inside day candle. I would say if I traded Tesla today, to trade carefully. So where are our trouble places to the downside, right? So if it breaks under this 20 EMA here at 250.73, if we break under this area, we can come back and find support here at the 250 area. Under the 250 area, which we've been here before, under the 250 area, we can come back to 248.97. Well, 249.42 and then the 248.97. Under 248.97, we can come back and retest this 248.35. And under 248.35, we can definitely come back and retest the 247.71. And I always say, y'all, nothing is guaranteed. Let me correct that. So under 247.71, we can come back to this 246.97 area. Under 246.97, 246.26. Those are going to be trouble places for Tesla to the upside and to the downside. So if you trade Tesla today, y'all, I always say trade carefully. Don't rush into your trades. Allow your trades to come to you, right? So we are looking at AMD, and AMD is trading in a gathering spot also. So as of right now, our pre-market support is here at 161.34. Resistance is here at the 162.30. So I would definitely, and we did break above that and having trouble here at 162.71, but it will need to continue to the upside. So we had pre-market support at those levels. Now we're breaking out of that. So as of now, where are our trouble places for AMD? It looks as if we're having trouble at this 162.72. So it would need to break above that level. And the next level of resistance is at 163.24. Above 163.24, we will have trouble at 163.69. Above 163.69, we can come back and retest this 164.30. So at this 164.30, it's going to be a little bit of, that's a lot of trouble ahead, or resistance ahead. So if by chance we break above 164.86, then we will have trouble at 165.57. Above 160, which is that ATR trailing stop. Above that 165.57 area, we can come back and retest the 166.29. So those are places to the upside for AMD. So where are our trouble places to the downside? If we break this level of 161.35, if we break this area, then we can have trouble at 161.02, and again at 160.75, and below the 160.75, we can come all the way back to 160.39. If we break the 160.39 area, I will watch the 160.07 area for AMD. And again, let's see how much AMD normally moves on an average for, on a daily basis. It normally moves $7.91. And looking at it on this daily chart, this is not, there is a gap that will need to be filled to the upside. However, we are still declining. We can come all the way back down to this 157.63 and find support, and then bounce back to the upside. But as you can see, AMD is coming back to a previous gathering spot. This is a gathering spot for us, looking at it on the daily chart. That's why it's important that we look at the different time frames. So looking at it on the daily chart, we made this high of 187 only to come back down to this 157 area. Can we find support here, which is where it found support previously at this ATR trailing stop, and take us back to the upside? That's something to be mindful of. But just know there is a gap on the daily chart for AMD that needs to be filled back to the upside. So again, if you trade AMD, I say always trade carefully. So we are now looking at NVDA. NVDA normally moves $5.30 per day. Again, now we're looking at it on the daily chart, and it seems as if it came down, found support on this ATR trailing stop, and it looks like it may be trying to bounce back to the upside. I'm going to set my alert at this level under the 115 area, because that means it has broken through a level of support on the daily chart. So now let's go back to the 30-minute chart where we normally are. So looking at NVIDIA on the 30-minute chart, this is our gathering spot. Support is here at pre-market support 120.05. Resistance was around, let's see, the 120.89 area. We tried to break out of this area, but we got rejected by this 50 EMA. So it will need to break above this 50 EMA, which is around the 121.33 area. If we break the 121.33, we'll have trouble here at this ATR trailing stop, which is at 122.02. or really close to that 122.02 or 121.83. So 121.81 or 122.02. Those are going to be trouble places for NVIDIA to the upside. Now, if by chance we break that 122.02, we can very well have trouble here, at the 122.35, above 122.35, 122.81, above 122.81. Then our next area of resistance will be around the 123.82 area. Those are trouble places to the upside for NVIDIA. Now to the downside, if we break under the 119.96 area, which is right where the 20 EMA is, if we break this level, then we can come back to the 119.37 area. Under 119.37, we'll have trouble here at 119.07. At 119.07, we can have trouble again here at the 118.51. Below 118.51, we can come back to this area of 117.81. So it's interesting that price traded in this area here. Let me mark that for NVIDIA, because I always say when we mark that gathering spot, price normally comes back to that area. So it wouldn't surprise me at some point to see, NVIDIA back at the 118.58 down to the 117.86 area if you're looking at it here on this 30-minute chart. So again, if I traded NVIDIA, I would say trade carefully today. It can move in either direction, up or down in that with that ATR, which was $5.30. Again, in either direction. It's interesting that it is bouncing off of that ATR trailing stop on the daily chart. chart. So again, if you trade NVIDIA, trade carefully today. Now we do have some inside day candles. Carnival Cruise Line is one of those. Now I normally just give the trigger to that. That means if it breaks to above this area, then this is the target, or if it breaks below this area, then this is the target, right? So above 1914, then the target to the upside is 1929. Below 1840, the target to the downside is 1835. And Carnival Cruise Line normally, or CCL, normally moves 62 cents per day. So if you trade that, I would say trade carefully. DAL, Delta Airlines, is an inside day candle. It's been trading in a gathering spot, as we can see here. So if it breaks above 4601, 4606 is the target. Below 4530, then the target to the downside, let's see, is 4314. So yeah, if we break under 4530, which is strong level of support here, so if we can come back to the 4314. So how much does Delta DAL normally move? $1.48 on average per day, and that could be in either direction. So if you trade Delta Airlines, I would always say trade carefully. So GM is an inside day candle. Above 49.99 gives us a target of 50.01. Below 49.11 gives us a target of 48.80, and it has found support here off of this 50 EMA, looking at it on this 30-minute chart, and tried to bounce back. So I would say if I traded GM, trade carefully today. And how much does GM normally move on a daily basis? 96 cents, and that can be in either direction, right? So let's go back to the SPY just to do a little recap to see where we are with the SPY. So we have come down, found support, bounced off of this 557.23. That's something that I need to remember. Let's see, the low of this candle is 557.16. I need to remember this area, which we had already had that marked. Bounced off this area. It seems like we've come back, and we also need to remember the 557.92 or 557.88 area. That's going to be an area of support. It 557.85. It bounced off of that. Are we going to continue to the upside? We will again have trouble at 558.60. When we cleared that, if we cleared that, we could have trouble again at 558.84, which brings us close to this 50 EMA at this area was at 558.74, which brings us close to 558.84. So those are places that I would watch the SPY for to the upside. Again, it would not surprise me based on what happened on yesterday. And again, let me say this, nothing is guaranteed in the market. Anything is possible, but nothing is guaranteed. Just because it sold off on yesterday doesn't mean that it's going to have a strong move back to the upside today, right? So I always say trade carefully and allow your charts to lead you. Based on what I'm seeing, we've been trading in a gathering spot. So at some point, we're going to break back to the upside, or we're going to continue to the downside. So I will be watching the SPY to see if we reach this 559.92 area, which is right here at the 200 EMA at 559.93. So again, if you trade the SPY, trade carefully today. I hope that everyone have a very, very productive and very profitable day today, y'all. And you know, I always like to leave you with this, right? Be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.